Guys, can everybody hear me this time? Because the last time we did a stream, y'all were not able to hear me. Can you guys hear me okay? That's the first question. Okay. You guys can hear me on TikTok. Can you guys hear me on YouTube? That's the second question. I'm going to wait for chat to say something over here. And then we'll go, maybe... I know it's like slightly, like a little bit delayed over there. Sounded good. Awesome. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome, guys. Welcome, guys. I'm still sick with like strep slightly here, so we're gonna just give this a whirl and see how this goes. I know I haven't had any weather updates for you guys in a while. I just posted 2 videos, both on YT and on here just now. So once we're done here, if you don't get your questions answered, which you should get them answered because I'm literally gonna talk about everything in the video that I'm gonna talk about now, you should get your questions answered. So outside of that, let me switch over here. Excuse me, give me just one second. I think I have. Okay, we're already on here. Never mind. Welcome, guys. We've got the return for severe weather this week. We've got a major warm-up this week, and then things are going to change potentially again next week. So, lots of things to figure out after this week, but we're going to talk about this week first, talk about next week, when we get closer to that happening. I will go ahead and start out with satellite imagery here first, as we always like to do. You guys can see here, not a lot going on here, not any big storm systems or anything like that. We do have some clouds up here, maybe some stragglers rain up here, ongoing into portions of the upper Midwest here, but outside of that, you can see the flow. This is what we call a ridge. We got a high pressure down here into the southern Gulf. This is keeping things nice and warm. We're going to see all of that warm air lift. We're going to see that instability lift, and we're going to see that moisture return process start to happen as we get closer to the middle of the week. That's going to allow for severe weather. Now, what happens with this week's severe weather? All of that stuff. Things are subject to change. You guys know that. We talk about this every single time. This is like year 3, I think, now here on the channel of doing severe weather full time. So, yay, we're here on year 3 since I've moved to sweet old lovely Western Kentucky. This will be year 3 of our full-time severe weather season as well. Super excited about that. Yeah, so we got a lot of things here, and things are going to start to ramp up here pretty soon, guys, especially as we get closer to February and then March and then April and May. So, we're going to have severe weather this week, and then next week may go a little bit more quieter. I'm not seeing an active jet stream next week, so that's going to really keep things chill, but then that thing may change again. As you guys can see on the top right of your screen, we've got actually a bunch of stuff here. I've added some stuff to the stream to kind of keep you guys looking at things here outside of me yapping and talking all the time. Top left will show day 1 through 7 SPC outlook. We'll talk about what all that looks like here in just a moment. Middle top there will show the same screen you're seeing here. And then we've got our 6-a-day temperature outlook updated. You can see how warm it's going to be through January the 15th. We're going to keep things nice and warm here over the next 7 to 10 days. And then look what changes, though. This is the biggest thing. As we head towards next week, once this little cold Arctic air mass comes down this weekend across the Ohio Valley, we're going to warm right back up next week, and we're going to see below average precip. So I did. I switched over to it, and I like it a lot. I had to get some help getting it installed, but I'm back to it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, like I said, satellite imagery, not got a lot going on here. We just got northwesterly flow over top of a ridge. Like I said, you can see our jet streams just kind of flowing over top of it here, and that's going to keep things pretty chill until we get toward the middle of the week, and we're going to talk about that here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and talk about SPC here. We got a lot getting ready to happen here, guys. A lot getting ready to happen. We will more than likely have severe weather coverage probably on Thursday, on Friday, and maybe on Saturday. We'll kind of see what happens on Saturday. But there will definitely be 2 days of severe weather coverage this week. There's definitely going to be lots of updates. Pending I don't sleep until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, and I can get myself up in the morning. I'm supposed to still be doing that. I was supposed to start my new routine schedule for you guys stream-wise last Monday, and then I got sick over the week, and then got sick through this weekend, and I'm still sick. So I'm getting there. We're getting better. I still have strep throat, so love that. But I start school next Monday, so I've got to get my shit together, literally. All right, let's talk about today's severe weather. There is no severe weather today. Literally general thunderstorms the West Coast, and we have a little general thunderstorm risk in portions of Colorado today. Not expecting that. No severe weather expected tomorrow. This is when things start to get a little interesting. We don't have any severe weather forecasted for Wednesday this week, but we do have the potential for severe weather to be added. The Storm Prediction Center here this afternoon did the day 3 outlook update, and we do have the potential for some maybe marginal severe weather somewhere in here Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, and overnight into early Thursday morning. And we'll talk about why that is here in just a moment. Our shortwave trough that's going to be leading the severe weather set for this week will bring maybe an overnight tornado risk here in a wind threat potentially to central and southern Oklahoma and central Texas maybe on Wednesday evening here. I will let you guys know this now with me being in school time mode. If there is any type of low and severe weather or medium severe weather, if it's not like a tornado outbreak or anything like crazy ongoing, there will not be severe weather coverage overnight for me going forward because I am going to be in school. So in order for me to get school done and be able to actually do this full time for the rest of my life and have a degree under my belt, I'm going to have to make some sacrifices. So unless we've got like an enhanced risk or a moderate risk or a high risk overnight, I will not be doing overnight coverage for you guys until I get breaks in school. So if there's a week where I don't have a lot of schoolwork ongoing, I'll be able to do that for you guys. But say something, if we get like a marginal or a slight risk issued for Wednesday this week, I will not be covering. Actually, technically I could cover it this week because I won't have school to do this week, but you get the gist. You get what's going to be happening. So it'll just kind of be play it out by ear here and see how things go. I'm taking a Calc 1 class this semester, so it's like 50 to 60 hours of homework outside of the actual lecture class. So you guys understand that if you've taken college. Here's what the Storm Prediction Center says here. It says an upper level low currently off the southern California coast is forecast to progress eastward into the southern plains by late Wednesday into early Thursday morning. Gradual low-level moistening will occur through the day across Texas and Oklahoma as low-level flow strengthens in response to steady cyclogenesis across the plains. Additionally, ascent ahead of the approaching upper wave will promote adequate destabilization for MU Cape values of 500 joules per kilogram. That's decent for severe weather. We had about 250 to 500 joules per kilogram of instability for severe weather last week across the Ohio Valley, and we had like 30 tornado warnings. So this is adequate for severe weather. It happens during the winter months. You only need a little bit of shear and a little bit of instability to get things going. So that's something we're watching here. As we go into 606Z to 12Z, so this looks like the severe weather setup. If there is any isolated severe weather on Wednesday night, it is going to strictly be between midnight and 6 a.m. on Thursday morning. So as everybody is sleeping. So we'll kind of see how things progress here as we get closer to Wednesday. We'll kind of talk about that if there's a risk zone added or anything like that. While buoyancy profiles most likely will remain too limited for substantially deep convection, strengthening wind profiles may support transition convection. Strengthening wind I already read that. Guys, it's been a while, so bear with me here. May support transition organized storms overnight across northern Texas into parts of Oklahoma. Confidence remains too low at this time to introduce a risk for probabilities, but highlights may be needed in future guidance if more aggressive extended range RRFS solutions happen. So the RRFS solution is what we'll show here in just a minute. Kind of gives us a future cast of what we could be looking at on Wednesday. And then, that's that for Wednesday. We go into the day 4 through 8 outlook, and for the first time in like what it feels like is months, we have a day 4 through 8 outlook for severe weather. We don't have anything forecasted on Thursday. So right now, nothing showing on SPC for Thursday, but I do think we are going to get some type of highlight of severe weather somewhere in this vicinity on Thursday, maybe even a little bit further to the north. Actually, that's a horrible circle. I wanted it to be here. This is where my circle is going to be at. So we're going to be watching for severe weather here on Thursday, and we're going to be watching for severe weather in the same spot on Friday. So right now, nothing from SPC. It's too low for confidence to do that, but take a look at this, guys. Friday, we got a day 5. For the first time, like I said, in like months, we have a day 5 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. Just a little bit excited because I'm in this, just a slight bit of excitement. We do have a level 2 out of 5 slight risk here for damaging winds, tornadoes, and small hail. What is this going to look like? I don't know. I have no idea. We are 5 days out. The models are long range. We don't have short range guidance, and we don't have medium range guidance right now. Tomorrow, we'll start to take a look at the NAM. The Rufus model, some other things here, and then we get into Wednesday, Thursday, we'll have the HER come in. So it'll kind of give us an idea of what's going to be happening, but what we're basically looking at right now, like I said, is a level 2 out of 5 slight risk for question mark unknown on what the hazards are going to be. Like I said, a lot could be happening, and then we're also going to get a marginal risk that probably extends something like this. We're probably going to have a pretty big marginal risk because just taking a look at the models, and we'll take a look at that here in just a minute, there's a pretty widespread solution of buoyancy, instability. The moisture return actually for this setup looks very, very impressive. I'm actually really shocked at some of these numbers that we're seeing for dew points going into January here. So we'll talk about that all here in a minute, but I will mention this, okay? Anytime we are looking at severe weather, and most of y'all that have watched me for a while know this and how I do this, severe weather can change even 1 to 3 days out. If the trough is lagged behind, if it speeds up, if it slows down, it plays a huge factor. So, if we get updates here, and actually the GFS is updating right now, so we're going to take a look at the new run here in just a minute. If it slows down or if it speeds up, we may see severe weather go away, or we may see severe weather uptrend. That's how these setups play out. When you're not in the spring months, like March, April, May, and June, where we are looking at instability kind of always being around, and we're relying on our positioning of our trough to allow our moisture and instability to lift out of the Gulf, that position of your trough, your low pressure system, your jet stream is going to be a huge factor in where actually that's going to set up at. So once again, this is for Friday. If you're in this risk zone on Friday, prepare for severe weather. If you're within a 25 to 50 mile radius outside of that, also prepare for severe weather, because there is going to be a marginal risk that comes with this. Could we get an enhanced risk? I'm not going to get into all that right now because we don't have mesoscale details, but sure, why not? Day 6, day 7, not expecting anything. There probably will be a day 6 marginal risk, probably along a lot of the eastern seaboard here for Saturday. As this front comes through, we are going to see plenty of moisture return. Instability will also be limited, but decent, I feel like. Once models get a better grasp of this, we'll see what Saturday looks like as well. So, do I have any questions on this? Memphis, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, Clarksville, Tennessee, Jackson, Tennessee, and Owensboro, Kentucky. So, Bowling Green also looks to be in that. Nashville, like I said, as well, also looks to be in that. If you were in that yellow risk, now is the time to ask questions before I start deep diving into what the absolute hell we're actually looking at. Welcome in, Halo, over on YT, and John, welcome in. Good to see you guys. Thank you guys for all the gifts. I appreciate it as well. I'm so excited to be back. I'm still sick with strep throat and I'm congested, but just fuck it. We're going to get through it. I need to get updates out to you guys. This is part of being sick. You got to do your job. So even though I don't get paid for this, I'm going to do my job. So that's just part of it. Sierra, welcome in. Good to see you guys. I'm happy to be back, guys. Like, whether we're talking about severe weather or absolutely nothing, I wanted to start this schedule and like streaming for you guys twice a day and doing videos all the day long and all that stuff like last week, but things happened. So not much you can do about it. So, Clarksville's about to go crazy on Friday. Potentially, yeah. I mean, you guys are definitely on that borderline of that slight, where you're in the slight risk, but kind of borderline. I think the further north you go, closer to the Kentucky-Tennessee line, the lesser likelihood of more extreme severe weather. Honestly, right now, if I was going to chase on Friday, it would be down here. And the reason why that is because we're closer to the Gulf. This time of the year, you have more lift, more instability, more moisture to work with. We're just going to have to see in about 2 days where this jet stream actually sets up at. That's going to be key to figuring out everything else that comes with it. So, XCap, Intuff, thank you guys for all the gifts. I really appreciate it. Bree as well. Thank you guys. Claire, thank you guys for all the love. Any rain for Texas? Isolated showers on Wednesday night. And then we'll kind of talk about the long range pattern here in just a few minutes. But yes, isolated showers Wednesday night. Maybe some severe weather. Just kind of depends on where you're at in that area potentially. Okay, I think I see that's what we've got for you guys there. All right, let's go ahead and talk, I guess, medium range. The only model that we have that really can give us a glimpse, and this is the new model that the National Weather Service is bringing into play this year. The Rufus model is what I like to call it, the RFSA. This is an experimental model that's still experimental technically until they actually like integrate it in. This kind of gives us an idea of what Wednesday night could look like in a nutshell here. I wouldn't hold your standards too much to this, but it does show this front coming through. It does show some instability, and it does show well after midnight. It's kind of a stringy line of thunderstorms here. It looks like our low will be kind of right up here. You can kind of see where things are going to be bashed at, but this is what overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday morning looks like. It's got a couple little supercells kind of embedded in here. I don't think by any mere means this is going to be anything too crazy unless we get an uptrend or anything like that, but this is something I'm watching very, very closely on Wednesday night for you guys overnight into Thursday, and then eventually this will shift eastward, and then we get into, you know, Thursday and Friday setup, and I'm not even going to look at this on the long range yet because it's just well too far out to get an idea on what's going to happen. But I will mention, let's take a look at a couple things here. Let's actually look at our shear and our trough. Let's see what this is doing. Yeah, so the RFS has our low just northwest here of the northern Oklahoma City area, which puts your greater shear. You can kind of see here how your wind vectors kind of go like this as your trough. So this puts this at negatively tilted. So, you know, once these short range models get into play tomorrow, actually technically late tonight into tomorrow, I wouldn't be shocked to see maybe some more instability come into play with this. This is actually a little bit interesting. This is definitely a negatively tilt to it, which is very important to getting more of that instability and moisture return here. So we're gonna have to watch this. I feel like Wednesday night could be a little bit of a sneaky overnight threat, but you can kind of see how your wind barbs change here. Does it show? Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in just 1 minute with the instability on Thursday. But it does show your wind shear. That's some pretty decent mid-level wind shear here. I mean, you got about 85 knots all the way up here through Oklahoma. And then that's really going to intensify as the trough kind of gets strung out Thursday and a Friday. I do want to watch Thursday. I know we don't have a highlight yet for Thursday, but just kind of looking at this on Thursday, you're going to have 2 little jet speed maxes here with your trough as that second trough comes down out of Northwest Pacific here. So that's very, very important. And then you really get things cranking here on Friday with the trough really rounding the base here across the Rockies. So that's very, very important as well. Let's look at our dew points and see here. This is all we've got right now in terms of like short range model guidance. Imagine if we had a low pressure system down here. We would have a decent little warm sector for severe weather in the southeast, but we don't. So that's good news. Let's see. Moisture comes in. Like this is so late Wednesday. This is interesting. This is really, I want to see how this plays out tonight and tomorrow. It's like our moisture is coming in right overnight. I mean, this is like a weird setup. So a lot of the times when you want to see a bigger severe, none of us want to see it, but when you want to see a bigger severe weather setup, you want to have your moisture and your instability already in place. You don't want to see it lifting the night of the event happening as storms are trying to fire. So this is going to be interesting to kind of see how this setup happens. Your low is up here. You've got a decent little dry line, I guess, set up here. It's not really sharp or anything, but you've got some moisture to work with here overnight, Wednesday night and Thursday morning. So we could see, like I said, some severe weather potentially in this area here going into Wednesday overnight hours here in the Thursday morning. So, and then we'll see that those dew points really get going. More interested on a skinny warm sector on Thursday here. Maybe even in far down here as the Southern Gulf, but I think our low is going to be further to the north where most of our severe weather will probably be in this area on Thursday. So I'm kind of watching eastern and central Arkansas, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southeast Missouri on Thursday for a setup, potentially, even though we don't have a risk zone yet. I'm just kind of thinking outside of the box here. Let's take a sounding. Wow. That's actually a lot of low. Dude, Thursday may be interesting, Loki, guys. Thursday may be really interesting, and that's the day that we don't have a risk zone for yet. I could see a marginal risk being introduced for Wednesday, a slight risk on Thursday, and then a slight risk staying on Friday. This is for eastern Arkansas on Wednesday evening, or on Thursday evening. It's a decent little sounding, too. Got a marginal tornado here. Dew point at 63, 68, and your Cape values are right at, 289. So this would be a wind shear driven event here, is what it looks to be. Interesting stuff here. That's right around 23Z. Let me push this back. Let's do one at 20Z. Yeah, so instability is a little bit better there. What is that? About 832. Surface base Cape is at 158. So you don't have a lot of instability to work with on Thursday. I bet that number changes. Hello, Roro. I bet this number changes for Arkansas on Thursday. I do like this setup.
Attention, a new special marine warning has been issued.
Is that a marine warning that's Torpos? Hold on a minute. Oh boy. Not the Torpos marine warning. Of course it would be going towards San Jose. There's like 2 embedded water spouts in here. There's 2 embedded circulations in there. That's what this is for. We're gonna watch this for a minute and see if this changes. Guys, we may get a random tornado warning in California here in a few minutes. We got two little water spouts offshore here, potentially moving their way ashore here. We don't have a risk zone either for today, but sometimes you can get with these low pressure systems. This is our system right here. This is our trough that's going to be bringing in our severe weather for later this week. So, Louisiana update, Pam, I just saw your comment. Right now, you guys are in, if you're in north central Louisiana, I'll show the risk zone here again in a minute. You are in that risk for Friday. Most of Louisiana will probably be in a risk by Friday at some point. So we'll keep an eye on this here. This is for the next 54 minutes. Yeah, definitely little spins here. That one's a little bit more realizable there. You can kind of see where they're at. They don't look impressive at all, but they're there. So, all right, we'll keep an eye on that here. We'll come back to that if we need to. As I was saying though, this is a very I really like Friday's setup, or technically Thursday night into Friday. We may be seeing, and this is going to be interesting, and this can happen. We may be seeing our Friday severe weather setup head towards like Thursday overnight hours now. I mean, this is a beautiful. Take a look at this. Hold on a minute. I know this is the Rufus model, but this is like our first like image of what this is what we have to look at. Look at this warm sector we're going to have. And it looks like our triple point will be kind of right up here in this area. So we'll have most of our shear probably in this area again. Right, what does that look like to you? Kind of like a repeat again of like last week. This is interesting. I really want to see how our short range and medium range guidance does this with this over the next couple of days. And if our trough changes, if the speed of our trough changes. Question mark here, but a broader warm sector down here for maybe some supercells. We'll see. What are temps running at? We'll be in the 60s. All the way down the board here. Yeah, Missouri will probably see some severe weather this week. It's very possible. I think it's going to be the south and central and south Missouri that sees severe weather this week. That's the biggest question mark. Thank you guys for all the gifts. I do appreciate it very, very, very much. Let's look at Cape values again here. Let me just look at instability and see. Hello, Dev. Good to see you. Yeah, it's a skinny Cape again, and we saw instability uptrend significantly on the last severe weather setup here. So this is actually Thursday overnight. Winds are more parallel up here with the trough, so that'll be subject to change probably. Let's see here. Yeah, Boone, North Carolina, you guys are gonna be quiet. You'll probably see some rain this weekend, but nothing exciting really, I would say. Little showers and thunderstorms on, making a marginal risk up here on Thursday. We'll see. Well, there's your tornado parameters. There are some ones there. There definitely are some ones. So we'll see. So this is just kind of the first take at what's going to happen on Thursday and Friday. Interesting. All right, let's go global here for a minute, because I know a lot of people want to tell you what we're looking at here. So once again, in a broader picture, what we're looking at here overall is, once again, we'll kind of just talk about this. Here's our ridge down here. You can see our jet stream kind of flowing up over the ridge. This is allowing for a very, very warm week here across the United States, unless you're in the West Coast where we've got that trough coming down. It'll be below average. Once again, here's our two pieces of energy. I'm going to stop it right here. This is on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. This is OZ. Here's our shortwave trough. This is what's bringing our severe weather. This is going to eject up to this direction across Mexico, across southern Texas here. Here's our little second piece of energy. This is what's going to connect with our jet stream and bring us our cold air and potentially snow for the weekend up here into the Great Lakes. Minnesota, Wisconsin could see some snow again this weekend potentially. We'll talk about that here in just a moment as well. But in reality here, if we can get this shortwave trough, we don't want this to happen. I'm just speaking from a severe weather mindset perspective. For a greater severe weather threat to be more materialized here, at least like an enhanced risk or something like that, you want to see this trough not like flat. Like, it's not even flat. It's just like, it's not very impressive looking like it was a couple days ago. This has got time to change, but you can see the low is in there. It's got a negative tilt. It just, your severe weather is going to be a lot more confined to a smaller area here, which still isn't good. But it's not as widespread. So we're not looking at like a widespread severe weather outbreak or anything like that this week. More confined here, and that'll be putting right over the Arcotech up here towards the Lower Ohio Valley, and that's where SPC is talking about for day 4 and day 5. Here's the second piece of energy. This is just going to bring in some cold freaking air. It's going to be cold Saturday and Sunday across the Ohio Valley, Midwest, and the Northeast. That low moves up to the north here, positively tilt with this. This is going to bring a lot of wind, a lot of another pressure headache weekend if you get pressure headaches. This looks like an identical setup to like a week ago, where we've got a jet stream with no moisture to work with. This is just going to bring in some cold air, some snow up here to the Great Lakes, some snow in the northern Ohio Valley, and then this front will come through this Saturday and Sunday, and it's going to get really, really windy and cold Saturday and Sunday across the Ohio Valley. And then, look at this, look at the jet stream, look at this wind gradient. It's like 120, 135 knots. of mid-level shear there. So it is going to be windy as heck this weekend if this scenario plays out here across the Northeast and the Ohio Valley and across the Mid-Atlantic on Sunday. And then that'll push out Sunday night and Monday morning, and then we kind of get some new things going next week. And then after that, the European just wants to like collapse our polar jet stream, and we just see winter weather just bash across the United States here. So we will have to see how that plays out. That's a big question mark. That's over like 10 days out. I'm not going to get into that because it's just really not comprehensible. But from a good side of things, outside of the severe weather, all of this is warm air. All these oranges and bright oranges here, this is above average temperatures. We like to see this. And as we go into the week here and the weekend, here comes that front. You can see the gradient here. Here comes the below average temperatures. This is where it'll be colder this weekend for like Saturday into Sunday. And then look what happens. We return right back to above average temperatures next week. And then Canada decides to show up. This is where things change potentially, but this is like 200 hours out. So once again, I'm not really going to like put my trust and love into a scenario like this. But if you're a snow lover, we'll see what ensembles do, but this may be a good thing. This may be a good thing. We'll see. But the GFS and the European do show it, so I'm interested to see how this scenario plays out. Back to severe weather side of things. On a broader note here, let's take a look at the Euro, and then we'll look at the GFS because they are both different in the setup this week. European has, like I said, a better moisture return here going into Wednesday, going into Thursday. I really like Thursday's setup. If Thursday can, if this model run continues to trend, this is a pretty decent setup. Like I said, you may have some scattered severe weather down here in the Gulf states on Thursday, but it looks like we're going to have a better chance of seeing some severe weather up here on Thursday. And like I said, I think we get a marginal or a slight risk or something for that, maybe overnight tonight or something like that. And then Friday, look at that, big old push of moisture all the way up here. The European really wants to just blanket Kentucky, Tennessee, the deep south here in 60-plus degree dew points. This is very, very impressive for January. Not that it doesn't happen, but this is very, very impressive. This is good setup here. Are we going to get instability? Are we going to get enough instability to have a better shot at severe weather? And once again, too, the way the trough looks, this looks to be a line of thunderstorms, maybe some supercells down here where our deeper moisture and convection can happen at. But this most of me looks to be a linear mode once again. And then, you know, we kind of get a second day here. It looks like an attempted a second day on Saturday here across the Ohio Valley, but I don't think we're going to have enough moisture return to cause that. It looks like our severe weather on Saturday will actually be this area potentially here to watch, maybe like a big marginal risk or something like that. So a lot of things to figure out, guys. It's just Monday, so I know people want answers, but we're just gonna have to be patient and wait and kind of see what happens here. As we go into the weekend, here comes those dry temperatures, and you know, severe weather pretty much is non-existent, at least as of right now, with next week. So that's some good news to see in terms of that there. Take a look here at the precip, see what it's doing. Yeah, so Thursday looks to be kind of a rainy day. Depending on how far to the north this low can lift, we may get some, like I said, isolated, scattered severe weather in here. Very, very, very skinny, warm sector once again. So not expecting anything crazy with this. And then what's really, really weird to me, and this is, I was questioning this when I was making my videos for you guys this afternoon. What's really weird to me is our low is so far to the south with this second system coming in on Friday. It's like, I don't know how we're going to get instability unless we're still keeping instability around from Thursday night over. I don't understand how we're going to get instability on Friday up here in the lower Ohio Valley, which really makes me think that the main threat for severe weather on Friday is actually going to be down here. We're going to have to watch model trends. This looks to be just mostly rain up here into the lower Ohio Valley, and the severe weather would be further down south. So I want to see how these trends go. The GFS shows one thing, the European shows another, and then it looks like we're going to see that cold air coming in, and we start to see some snow pickup on Saturday and Sunday across the central plains here. So a lot of things, like I said, guys, that we got to figure out. A weekend blizzard, not a blizzard, well, we may see blizzard conditions this weekend again up here, so something to watch for. But look at this. This is our trough that's bringing in that cold air. These are some really, really tight isobars, and those the tighter those isobars are, the better chance you have of seeing stronger wind gusts just with the trough coming through. Look at this. I mean, it just comes right through the Great Lakes here, through the Ohio Valley. It's like a 1.5, 2-day event, and then it's gone and out of here. So, yeah. And then you can see how severe weather will probably continue through the weekend right down here. So I think we're going to get 4 or 5 days of severe weather this week. Whether it's marginal slight risk or higher, we'll see. But I do think it'll be an active week this week with this storm system coming across the United States. Next week looks dull, dry, and boring. And then who knows what's going to happen after this. Maybe some snow in the Ohio Valley in the future. I'm just going to tease you guys for just a moment. Remember, this is over 300 hours out, but I just want to tease you guys. For just a second. Just for 2.5 seconds. Is this scenario probably going to happen? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But there's your 14-day fantasy run of snow down as far down as Mississippi and Alabama. Probably not going to happen, but we'll see what our trough does. We'll see what our trough does at that point next week. So a lot of uncertainty at that point. Let's see here. I do want to look at instability again. Yeah, Oklahoma's going to have a very low end chance for severe weather overnight Wednesday night into Thursday. All of that is to be determined. We're just kind of watching, but you definitely are going to see rain and thunderstorms Wednesday night and Thursday across much of Oklahoma. So, yeah, literally, Aiden, and it's actually that's how January it is. It sadly is how the month plays out most times and not. So, instability, like I said, once we get medium range models in starting tomorrow, we'll see. But look at the euro. This is why I really want to watch Wednesday night. Look at this. We got about 500 to almost 1,000 joules per kilogram of instability on the euro here. So we may get some spinny things overnight, guys, across Oklahoma on Wednesday. We may get some spinny things. It's possible. It's very, very possible. We'll see. We'll see what happens. This isn't going to be anything impressive, probably, but we'll see how this plays out on Wednesday. That's why I said I think SPC goes marginal on Wednesday. I think we get a marginal overnight tonight for Wednesday. School will not get canceled for this. No. This is not a tornado outbreak or anything like that. And then Thursday, we have a very skinny cape to work with. I want to see these numbers become a little bit more impressive. And then look at Friday. This is where, once again, I'm question marking what's going to happen up here, and I'm liking more down here. So question mark here, but this is where I would really want to pay attention to on Friday afternoon. And they may have to shorten this risk zone down and drop it down south. I don't know how. We'll just have to see here how Kentucky and everybody else plays out. Yeah, marginal severe. I don't see a supportive slight risk at least as of right now. So that's why I woke up this morning and I saw it and I was in it. I was like, wait, there's not going to be enough, but we'll see what happens. Shear may override that. So, and then we go into the weekend here and then that's gone. And then after that, things are a little bit uncertain on what's going to happen. So GFS 18Z, let me look at the 12Z trough comparison here. I want to see this because this is actually really important. 12Z takes our trough. Yeah, so interestingly enough, the difference between the European and the 12 and the GFS is the 12Z GFS has our low pressure system already connecting with our shortwave trough on Thursday, whereas the European had it a little bit further to the northwest and it wasn't fully attached. That's important to moisture return and all that stuff, and we'll get into that in like tomorrow's stream or something like that. But a little bit more impressive jet streak in the shortwave trough on the GFS, which could promote a better severe weather to that. We'll see. And then going into, Friday's setup, it looks like the trough is already coming through. It doesn't even look like the GFS wants there to be severe weather on Friday. It just keeps it on Thursday because that shortwave trough is already pretty much merged and gone and out of here. So big differences in the European and the GFS. We got to figure out what's going to happen with that. And definitely big difference here. Look at this. Look at the difference on Saturday. So our low pressure system in our Euro run was here. It had our jet stream well up here. Look where the GFS puts it at. And this is 5 days out. This is why you can't forecast these type of things 5 days out. It is so dadgum difficult to figure this out. This is like a 100 to a 200 mile difference in where our jet stream is positioned at. Well different here. Low is well further down to the south, and the GFS wants it up here. Big differences on everything. So, and like I said, that's between now and Friday. So we got to figure that out first before we really start nailing down details. I need to see trends. And then the GFS also does what the European does and says, hey, we want Canada to bring its weather all the way down to Florida. So, in reality, that is theoretically possible. We'll see how that plays out. And then after that, a lot of uncertainty. So, difference as well here with the GFS, and we'll take a look at the 18Z here in just a moment as well. Let's see, dew points. So, an issue. Okay, moisture return Wednesday night, but it's late. It looks like our moisture return on the GFS is late because of our positioning of our trough, which is expected. And then, yeah, this is going to be a problem. The GFS doesn't really want there to be severe weather on Thursday or Friday, unless it's like well down further south across the Arctic. So big difference here in moisture and everything else. And by Friday night, the European had 60-degree dew points all the way up into here. The GFS doesn't even have that. So we've got some shit to figure out, guys. This is why severe weather forecasting, winter weather forecasting in January, February, and March are like, it is so difficult. Big differences 3 to 5 days out. People are trying to forecast weather 7 days out. This is why we have to pay attention to details 3 days out, 4 days out. Like, we're 4 days from this event, and we've got a 400 to 500 mile difference in our different thought processes here, I guess is what we're going to call this. So lots of things to figure out. We'll take the 18Z here in just a minute and see if it changed, but that was a 12Z, and then the 12Z just does 12Z things. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm curious if this changed or not just now. This is our new one updating now. Yeah, it's still keeping it very, very progressive. Oh, it just folded in. There it is. So our 12Z, our 18Z GFS just gave up and folded into the euro. That's what I was waiting to see right there. So big piece of energy right here. Look at that difference. That's our, so the 12Z at lunchtime 3 hours ago had our low up here. Now it has it down here. Big difference. That's what I was waiting to see. Is the European going to win this, or is the GFS going to win this? Usually the European is pretty good with these type of systems. It's really usually a lot better in general. The GFS sometimes doesn't know what it wants to do with itself. So that is huge. That is some questions answered right there. So let's see what this does to our moisture return. We're looking at severe weather for everybody that's joining in the stream right now for this week. Yeah, so it still has instability. Okay, so there's not instability. This is interesting. So it has our dew points starting to trend to the euro, but it's still got some issues. So I think we're starting to see our GFS run trend to the euro, which tells me that severe weather looks likely this week. Yeah, that's a big adjustment. And I'll show you guys the differences again here in just a momento. I want to see one more thing here. Yeah, South Carolina's going to have potentially isolated severe weather maybe on Saturday, but that's still a little ways out to figure out. Yikes. This is not good if you're in Missouri. The 18Z GFS says, I want inches of snowfall on Saturday, Friday night and Saturday. It's bringing the trough further down south on Saturday into Sunday. Interesting. And we'll have some isolated severe weather ongoing down here through Sunday. Yeah, guys, you guys see why it's so difficult to do. I want somebody to, like, step into my shoes one day and just do what I do. I just want, this takes so much time to sit here and analyze and look at trends and figure out what the hell is going to be right and what's going to be wrong. So this is like this is why I hate forecasting severe weather. This is why I hate forecasting during the winter months. It sucks. During March, April, and beyond, it's great because usually consistency is pretty far out. When you've got stuff like snow and stuff involved, now it's showing snow, a major snowstorm this weekend. This is huge from what the GFS was showing at lunchtime today. And it actually keeps our temperatures a lot even colder here, right along the Ohio River. It keeps that secondary low developing down south. This is really interesting. Okay, let's look at this. Let's go to trends here. Hold on a minute. I just want you guys to see this because, once again, model trends are very important. Let's go to about, I want to go to Thursday or Friday. Okay, so look at this. Wow. So this is the positioning. So this is on Friday afternoon, right when severe weather would be happening. This is at last night's run. This is the midnight run. 6 o'clock this morning, lunchtime, and now. Look how much this has changed just in one day today. That's huge. So, very important stuff to figure out. Lots to figure out. I want to see the positioning of the low. Yeah, so this is hilarious. A couple days ago, it had the snow in St. Louis all the way down to, like, southern Missouri, like a couple days ago, 2 days ago, and there it goes. There's the trend. There's the trend. We went from having, like, no snow this weekend across the northern Ohio Valley to snow again. Look at this, guys. It's 6 o'clock this morning. Look at this. 6 o'clock this morning. This is what it showed on Friday afternoon. No snow. Nothing. Lunchtime run, 18Z. And now it's popping up again. So, this sucks. I absolutely hate this. No consistency whatsoever is awesome. Let's look at dew points. Ugh, it's all over the place. It's literally all over the place. Ugh. I want you guys to know, when I make these videos every day, they are made with love and passion. Because this sucks. Yeah, we got to figure this out. Okay. Interesting. Let's go out to Saturday. There it is again. Big uptrend on the snow side of things. Yeah, Cincinnati looks to be heavy rainfall. Could see some severe weather. We'll see. Look at this. This was 3 hours ago. This is Saturday morning at 6 a.m. This is what the GFS is showing. This was the lunchtime run 3 hours ago. Nothing. No winter storm, barely a low pressure system up here, and then now look at the 12Z, or look at the 18Z GFS that just updated. Ready? What the fuck? Literally. We go from nothing 3 hours ago to this. What in the world is this? Like, are we getting a snowstorm or are we not getting one? Like, I'm trying to figure that out. Like, what are we doing here? Trends. This is why I like the European model, because the European model is a lot better with these type of situations. So, crazy. I'm loving it, literally. All right, so we got some stuff to figure out over the next couple days. Hopefully tonight we'll get some answers. I really like the European still though, so we're gonna go with that on our solution. It's just a lot better. But yeah, let's look at instability. I didn't get the chance to look at that. It doesn't even want instability. It just keeps it down south now. Yeah, we got a lot to figure out. I think they pulled the plug on that risk zone a little too quick, but we'll see. We'll see what tonight does. We'll see what the overnight hours do. I like the deep south more for severe weather on Thursday and Friday. But we're gonna have to just at this point, I feel like, wait for short range model guidance to come into play to get an idea of what this is gonna look like. Let me see. What did the ensemble do? This is important too. Yeah, it keeps, so the European ensembles keep it a lot more progressive as well. Still decent moisture. This is what's really throwing me off. It's like the ensemble disagrees with the actual dermatistic run. Yeah, I think Louisiana's going to get severe weather regardless, potentially. I know the 12Z run was more impressive. Yeah, I think that's what SPC is going off of, is the Euro run, not the dermatistic run. A little bit of instability there on Friday, and then it goes away, and then, yeah. Let me look at some other things here. Let's see the Euro. I know it's on here. And they'll take a look at the Euro AI too. Yeah, the Euro shows it. Yeah, there will be a drop in temperatures. Not for Louisiana, though. Not on this go-around. Interesting. Let me look. What did the Euro AI do? Yeah, they're all doing the same thing. I want answers, and I don't have them for you guys. I want answers. No, I want high anomaly. Hold on a minute. Let me go back to the actual Euro. I'm looking at next week, too. There's our low. Big bridge again next week. See, I wonder, going into next week, the 15th and beyond, if we get something like this to set up, this sets up a snow potential setup for the Southeast, too. Lots of things to look at. Lots of things to figure out detail-wise over the next couple of weeks. Next couple of days into the next couple of weeks. This is some tricky stuff. All right, that's what I've got for you guys. Let me take some questions real quick. I'll pull back up that risk zone map, and we'll look at some of this stuff again tomorrow in tomorrow's video. Here's the risk zone we have for Friday. If you were in this risk zone on Friday, prepare for severe weather. This is probably going to change tonight. Probably get smaller, maybe evaporate. I don't know what they're going to do with this tonight. Definitely some different trends today. Prepare for all hazards of severe weather. The timing and all of that is, we don't know what the timing is going to be quite yet, so. Iowa, some snow potentially this week. Once again, the GF Fest in the European, kind of waiting to see what that's going to happen with. Oh, that was for a trough coming through, Stephanie. That was for a trough coming through, just for cooler air next week, potentially. Let's see here. Not a problem, not a problem. What is precipitation like for Northern Virginia? You guys may actually see some potential snow showers this weekend with that cold air coming through. Maybe even some rain on Friday with the front coming through. But other than that, Friday and Saturday, maybe some rain, some snow mix for y'all. That would be it. Next week's going to be muchly below average, so. WM, I'm not even going to answer that question because that doesn't exist, bud. Weather modification does not exist. Sorry. It's not been proven. Been done that one multiple times. So, Northern Alabama, Huntsville area, no severe. You guys, more than likely, we'll have a marginal risk that'll probably extend out like this. So, probably marginal severe weather. Kind of just be mindful of that. So, that is the trend for this week. So, there's always warm. When we get warm, it's like we can't not get severe weather. It always happens. Yeah, T, you should be fine on a Saturday morning. I think it'll be fine. Thank y'all for all the gifts. Thank you for the heart me. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. So just to remind you guys too, I'm gonna try tomorrow. I'm gonna really try. I'm hoping that I can get a good night's sleep tonight because I slept awful last night. I didn't even get up till almost lunchtime today to start doing stuff because I've been sick with strep throat the last 4 days. I'm gonna try tomorrow and start my new routine schedule. If not tomorrow, it'll be on Wednesday. So in the next 2 days. But I start school in like 5 days, so I will be busy outside of that. Yeah, I haven't had strep since I was a kid, so this is definitely not fun. It's like there's like razors in my throat. Not been fun. That's why there's been a lot of inconsistent posting. I've just been feeling gross and trying to get stuff ready to go. Also, did you guys see what I added to the stream? I bought a like a little cat sleeper thingy that attaches to my desk. So now we have Pumpkin. So now you guys can watch the cats while we're streaming. Sadly, Jenny Purr is getting to the point where she's so fat, she'll break it almost. Like it starts to like pull apart. So I can't put Jenny Purr in it right now until she loses weight, if that ever happens. So trading marshmallows, interesting. I may have to try that. Listen, I start to feel better when I know I can get on here and talk to you guys for an hour plus. So yeah, Jenny Purr is getting to the point where she's getting really chunky, and she about snapped this thing the other day when I put her in it. So she's probably not going to be able to fit in it. Hopefully she didn't hear me say that. But we do have Little Miss Pumpkin. Hold on. You guys can see her. Little Miss Pumpkin. This is our newest cat we got like a couple weeks ago. Little Pumpkin. Can you say hi? She's so cute. We love her. It's for a special marine warning off the coast of California. Take a look at it here. She's a sweet baby. Yeah, this will probably expire. There's not a lot going on with this. You can kind of see some ripples in here for some potential little water spouts, but not a lot going on with it. I'm ready to get back into severe weather coverage with you guys. Like, I am, like, ready for it. I need something I can do. Like, this back and forth, like, not anything existing stuff is really getting old. Like, I need some weather to cover. I'm ready for March and April to get here. I'm ready for May to get here. I'm ready to just get on here and grind with you guys. Because this shit sucks. What is it? What is it, babe? Oh. How about that? That's next week. Get a little northwesterly flow going. That'd be a little snowstorm for Kentucky. See, I like this. I like a classic La Nina pattern where I can get snow going down here. That's what I want to see. I want to see our jet stream do this, because then I get cold air, and then I get moisture, and then I get snow. That's what I want to see. Oh, bro texted me. Oh, yeah, guys. If you don't know, we have merch. If you guys go to my lovely bio, you can check out my merch. It is all on there. I can't show the link because TikTok doesn't like extra links, because that's how they are. But if you haven't checked it out, all that stuff is up. I'll be starting to add some new stuff as we go into this month. Add some new stuff. Add some kind of rotate stuff around. But definitely go check that stuff out. Yeah, absolutely go do that. Ro, do you want to come in here for a minute and say hi to everybody, since you haven't said hi to everybody too in a while? Hello, Jackie. Hello, guys. If you're coming in, welcome in. I'm gonna guess she's gonna say no to me, probably. Oh, that's right. You're not home. That is right. Never mind. She can't come in. But I'll have a stream for you guys hopefully tomorrow morning, a video out tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'm gonna get ready to get off here. I've been on here for an hour. I'm gonna rest my voice, hang out, probably get some stuff ready for school and all of that stuff. Oh, guys, I'm excited for school, but I want to get this stupid calculus class over with. I'm not looking forward to it whatsoever. I'm excited to be back in school after a year, but I'm not looking forward to the calc part of it. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck. So, but yeah. So, alrighty, y'all. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for all the support, all the love. And I will see y'all hopefully back in here tomorrow. At some point, hopefully in the morning. If not in the morning, it'll be around this time frame again. And y'all stay safe. If we get any uptrends or any downtrends, I will post. And we'll see y'all back in here tomorrow. Peace out, y'all.